The Pacific is truly the last frontier. It is truly the part of the world that is less or least contaminated by human activity, by human irresponsibility, I would say. We should keep it that way. This is the part of the world that can save the world.
Now, Solwara is their life. And from Old Tumbuna, you go down along Old Papa, and Old Mama, you go along Miplana, but you go behind long old generation behind.
Most developed economies have rejected this. They've rejected it because they feel that the unknowns are too great. What would happen if machines were to dig up these parts of the seabed where vents are which spew forth very complex life forms upon which entire ecosystems in the marine area are surviving or dependent on? We do not know enough.
We don't know. We have no experience of the consequences of the seabed mining. It is detrimental.
I've got to be blunt about it. You go to some politicians who know nothing about this issue, not even consulting its own people about the area of expertise. And then they get up to say, yes, please come and do an experimental here.
Most of the Pacific Island nations we looked at have sort of rushed to implement or to draft legislation around deep sea mining. And there's some reasons for that, basically related to sort of external pressure from foreign actors, from international institutions and industry who are interested in beginning to mine as quickly as possible and who are perhaps less interested in creating comprehensive protective frameworks or consulting with local people and indigenous groups.
We don't see how the seabed mining works. We don't understand how they works in the water. Maybe they're going to spoil the water, spoiling the reefs and spoiling the fish.
Mipla no worry lo money, but mipla thinking lo life no mipla.
I see that it's going to destroy the environment where our future children, grandchildren and all these are going to depend on. Our life entirely depends on the sea and land. And my views are that I totally go against this idea of deep sea mining.
The interpretation of democracy, the government here, or the government, Emerald people, Naikamlo people, Nabalong people, not supposedly Tokol Semen belong state. They need to belong to us. So they must listen to us. They must come and do prior consent. They fail considerably. The world leaders and everybody in the conventional system fail.
We have a poor governance issue in this part of the world. What I mean by poor governance is a lot of it starts from the bottom. Who owns the resources? And you can go as far as Cook Island, Fiji, Tonga, Solomon Islands. Those oceans, those reefs, including Papua New Guinea, those reefs belongs to people who own those reefs. It doesn't belong to the government. It belongs to those who live there.
Going in full speed ahead without really bothering to look around to do any type of due diligence is not just risky, but it's basically a violation of international law. It's a violation of the precautionary principle. So countries like New Zealand, Mexico, Australia, Namibia are doing the correct thing under international law. They're taking a precautionary approach, but they're also doing what's really in their own best interest by protecting their own resources and putting their people's welfare ahead of the interests of mining companies who want access to minerals.
We want to know how the environmental facts and figures be given to our people to know before they make a decision about allowing deep sea mining in the country. Do not go and bulldoze them, no. If you do that, I tell you, you better watch out.
They are currently doing that, drilling and exploration stuff. At the same time, they are learning from the mistake, or try to do it better this time, not so kind. We are not willing to accept any trial basis thing or operation. The general concern for the people of the New Ireland province, this is not a trial country. or province. But we can't do anything because of the oppression. People have signed, agreements and stuff. But at the same time, during the time, Nautilus has been informing people in the village that, okay, we'll try our best to do better the other time or the next time.
To us, the experimental one is a short term. Short term, it could be 3 to 5 years, and it will saturate the Bismarck Sea. You know how much they want to go down? Nearly every 3 to 5 million tons. They'll pour it back into the Bismarck Sea of sediment load.
We have to be very careful not to cause major damage to something that we don't understand, that we don't know about. But we also have to have a good understanding of what the wider impact. It's very much an experimental exercise. There are theories about the water movements between and the different layers and the way that sediment will not be mixed up into the upper layers. Well, that's all theoretical.
It is critical because, that is where we breed the tuna for the world, the Mugara Square. What is more important? Is it the gold that is a non-renewable resource, or tuna, which is renewable, and it is not only for the national domesticated economy, but globally.
Right now, we are not starving. We are not in need of these funds. And these funds are so minuscule that they're not going to make much of a difference anyway.
I believe in people power. If we can stand together as a nation, as a region, as a province, and stand and talk, I think we can go a long way.
If Nautilus is so concerned about mining, go and test it out in Canada. And if it is okay, come and test it out in us.
Just plami play ko fight long and lo future living standard of sustainability belong pikinini lo behind time.
The sea is not ours to say it's mine to ride on, but it's for me to protect so that it keeps sustaining me and it continues to sustain generations that will come.